welcome back to our lovely listeners. Today we are here with another episode of the Spa Business Mastery Podcast. I am Delia, if you need a reintroduction, and I'm here with the lovely Kirsten Foss, as always. And today we are going to be doing a deep dive into the world of websites. And specifically, we want to talk today about what it takes to create a 5-star website that will attract your ideal clients and turn them into paying customers. So this is a really important topic because we know that having that 5-star website and knowing what that means to turn them into paying customers is probably going to pique your interest here. So, we're talking about being in the digital age that we're in. It's really, really important that we understand that a professional website is like a digital storefront. And it's an absolute must. Like, we cannot avoid having a digital storefront.
Well, and Delia, don't you find that as entrepreneurs, we know this? Like, it's a non-negotiable. We have to have a website for our business. Yet, what I've noticed is that with spa owners, if you happen to build your website yourself, however many years ago, yes, you focused on that. Yes, you got it done. And yes, you've been pushing the flywheel to kind of keep it little, the updates going. However, there comes a time when you need to do actually a major kind of an overhaul or a redo or a rehab because, yes, we live in this digital age, but technology is growing and advancing so quickly that we really do need to keep on the technology ball and design.
Yes.
So many of us are looking at other spas and, you guys have seen them too, where the design just looks kind of dated and consumers recognize that. And if it is dated and somebody else's site isn't, there's that leaning that starts happening towards your competition. So yes, we talk about websites a lot in marketing on the marketing podcast here, but it's because it is so incredibly important in terms of generating business for you.
Yep. That's where they are going to go to that website and check it out. And so, but I just want to say it's not just about having a website. So, you can build a website and that's great, but it's about having one, like we just talked about, that looks good, it's professionally designed, and we want to make sure that it's tailored to your ideal client. So we want to be able to speak to the ideal client because those are the ones that you're going to want more of. You want them coming into your spa and you want them taking you up on your offers.
And the thing too with a spa industry, look, if you do hire out your website and you're not just a spa. Like, you may be a general spa, but so many of you are niched into waxing or skin or, whatever. And it gets harder to be more clear about who your ideal client is when it comes to that too. So, sometimes it's spa websites are kind of vague, right? And that takes away from being that 5-star website that converts consumers into actual book clients.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, Kirsten, what constitutes a 5-star website?
Well, yeah, we have to define this because there's a lot of information about websites for businesses, a lot of information about strategy, but it's often feels super overwhelming for the spa owner or entrepreneur that's trying to put this all of this little bits of information together. Yeah. So we want to define it for you so that maybe you can actually make almost like a little check box for yourself, a list of, I've got that as far as a 5-star website. I've got that. Yeah. Oops, I don't have that. So let's name that. So the first piece here is about having an easy and seamless consumer experience. And what does a consumer experience mean? It really just means that it's easy for them to navigate around your website. It's easy for them, like they've come to the homepage. It's easy for them on that homepage to see kind of all what's going on. It's easy for them to find a book now button. It's easy for them, once they go to that book now button, to find their service and the actual booking link. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's a hairy mess in there. So seamless consumer experience. Got to make it easy. If they have to try to figure stuff out, it's like, we got to fix that.
You're going to lose them. They'll leave the site and go to one that's easier.
Yeah, think about yourself as your own consumer. I go to a website, if it doesn't load quickly enough, I'm off and on to the next one, which is really unfortunate because that person's site probably had some really great, great offers, right?
Oh, and just side note that if your site does load slowly, know that it is impacting your search engine results. So when people try and search for you, you will rank lower. Google takes
Ouch.
that into consideration. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a
Ouch.
little hot tip there.
Another thing here to look at as far as your website, is it 5 stars? That your business services and products are of an exceptional quality. You got to walk your talk here, folks. So this means that if you are making claims about your skincare results, you've got to be able to deliver that. So that's kind of part of the end of the consumer experience of your website, that you've actually done what you've said you're going to do. Now, another piece here is that your website is actually providing a positive experience every time they land on your website. So is it mobile friendly? I'm kind of shocked at how many spa websites are so dated they're not mobile friendly. I actually have to turn my phone sideways to and then make it bigger.
Well, and there's one website, I won't name names on this one, but there is one website platform that I noticed, and it is a fairly popular one, but I noticed that you have to do like a complete redesign on the mobile side of it. So it's not like it just
Right.
turned your desktop into mobile friendly.
Yeah. So this is where, like, if you're not a web designer and you've bought a theme, like for WordPress or Squarespace or whatever, if you don't realize those back ends of things where you actually have to develop the website, the mobile website as well, it's not just automatic. That's a huge wrench. I mean, that's a lot of time for a spa owner to put in.
Yeah, big time. And most people are on their phones looking at sites. They're not on a computer opening it up. So mobile friendly should really be kind of priority over like desktop view.
Absolutely. And actually, all of you guys can go into your website platforms, into your analytics, and you should be able to, there should be data in there as far as like what devices are people looking at your website. I know for ours, it is definitely mobile. And I would guarantee for you it as well. So if your site is not super mobile friendly, and it's the little stuff like, if you've made some graphics in Canva, it may look great on desktop, but did you check it on mobile? Because it might be, the printing might be so tiny that, people like me that need their glasses and even their little progressives, I can't read that. Right?
It's too small. Yeah.
It's way too small. So you're losing consumers. So that's part of that positive experience every time. And if you haven't done anything to your website in the past couple of years, I'm gonna say it's probably not the most seamless, positive user experience for your clients. Okay.
Just because tech improves so much, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And the other piece is the tech improves if you don't improve along with it. Like if you're not updating your plugins and all that kind of stuff, especially on a site like WordPress, you're literally like, you don't want to press anything just in case the site breaks because you've left it so long, right? So
we see a lot of specials, like old specials still on there, old info. Yeah.
So a 5-star website would not have all of that old information on there. It would, it would be always updated, every month, the old specials coming off, the new ones coming in. And the other piece of a 5-star experience website is that you have the tech there, right? Some of the plugins, like the Google Reviews plugins, I mean, that's tech. It's easy tech. It populates your Google reviews onto your whatever page you want to pop in there. So, if you've got screenshots of Google reviews, the technology has improved. And, those are the pieces that we look at as a 5-star spa website.
And when you pull in those Google reviews, it's not like you're just typing out, a review on the site in, the testimonial template section.
Like almost like you could have made up your own if
made up your own. This pulls them in, and it's just even more social proof. without, like social proof being that it's coming directly right from Google.
It's to be believed. It's real. That's what that social proof means, of having those kinds of plugins in there. Same with reviews for e-commerce, right? For the product reviews, that's real proof. You can't fudge that stuff.
Yeah. Right. And for, I mean, we'll get into that after, I think, but for those, product reviews, a lot of the, more updated platforms have the option already on there where people can directly comment, and it'll give them, like they actually have to log in, the customer would have to log in. So it's real reviews by real people, and it's still showing up on your products.
Yeah. And we know you guys have seen this on other much bigger platforms. It's available for all of us. So, if you're listening to this going, oh, really? Then we urge you to maybe re-listen to this podcast, get a pen and paper and make yourself some notes so that you know what your to-dos are on your next admin day for your website. All right. So Delia, how come we are talking about a 5-star, what makes a 5-star spa website? Why are we talking about this right now?
Why are we talking about it now? Well, especially this time of year, I find, after kind of the summer highs, we're still kind of in that slower season. So, a lot of times the bookings seem to be down and you're not sure why. So we're doing a website rehab right now. And what we noticed right away was that they had no homepage. It was completely missing.
I was clicking around going, wait a minute. There's no homepage.
So we created a homepage, and like the homepage is one of your most important pages on your website because it helps to, point people in different directions, and basically is kind of almost like a little mini summary of what you do in different ways, right? But so, your bookings are down, you're not sure why. Well, do you have a homepage? Is there info missing on that homepage? We have a whole kind of strategy of how we come up with the different sections of the homepage. So it kind of tells a little bit more of a story.
It's like more of a flow of storytelling.
Yeah. So make sure that you've got all the things on your website that are key, and homepage would be one of them. So,
well, and I think that's just a really good example of, this particular client. She's been wondering where the clients are. Like, people aren't booking, and they haven't been for like, I think it was like 3 or 4 months. It was just like, what is going on?
Like she was still getting bookings, but she wasn't getting website bookings, right? Like they weren't coming onto the website, and
she wasn't getting any new clients coming in, and she could not figure it out for the life of her. And so when I connected with her, and I was like, wait, with your website, like, where's your homepage? She's like, oh, I don't have one. I was like, oh, okay, that would make sense as to why you're really struggling to, like, you're not seeing any new ideal clients coming through. They're just coming. I think it was to our services page, or was it the about page?
It was to the about page. But one of the other pieces to that was that even on the services page, the info was kind of all mismatched. So you had, kind of the services, not really in kind of the right order of priority. And also like the pricing was in different spots. There was FAQs kind of, in the middle. So just the info that was provided wasn't enough to be compelling enough for consumers to be like, ooh, I need that. It was too disorganized for them to be able to kind of navigate through and stifle through the info, right?
Yeah. So that's a really great example of, like, you may not even know what you're missing. And that's okay. That's why, that's why we're here. Is to kind of pick out and to show you what you don't see, those blind spots.
Yeah. And we're also talking about this now because you probably have some time right now. So, make that hay while the sun shines. If you're slow, you have the time. Now is the time to prioritize during your downtime for some of the things that, maybe you do have on your list of to-dos, but you've just been kind of pushing it aside because, maybe it can feel too overwhelming.
And this is one of those things, and you and I are the same way, right? With our website, we're like, okay, all right, we've been putting this off long enough. Let's book some time out for, like, let's analyze the homepage. Let's analyze our service, the digital marketing page. Let's analyze the coaching page. What's missing? Is there information here that, almost like teaching them or unteaching them what they think they know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing with being in the skin or like any part of the spa industry is you will need to create time and probably make yourself because, I'm not a website designer. I love being creative, but doing a website makes me want to stab my eyes. That's why I get you to do it.
I take on I'll do it every day.
Yeah. So, I mean, really the key here is like, if you're quiet, because, maybe your website isn't bringing in enough clients for you, use this time, prioritize your website. And if you don't know what to do, then you can reach out for help for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You might also know that your website is overdue for an upgrade and not just an update. So there's a big difference between an upgrade and an update. And so, if you already have a website platform, then you're always going to have updates that are going to need to happen, right? Themes need updating, plugins need updating, but an upgrade is not updating your themes. It's actually taking and revamping your website.
Well, it's looking at the big picture, right? Zooming out, big picture, looking at the strategy. Is our strategy different, for client acquisition? Are some of our service, like, have we kind of started niching? Are there old services that we could take over?
Does the design need a refresh? Does it look dated?
Branding,
the branding. And maybe it's time for a new logo change. Maybe it's time for new brand colors. Here's perfect opportunity to take that and run with it when you've got the time to be able to upgrade your website. The other piece to that is that maybe the consumer experience is looking clunky, right? So it might not be as seamless as you might think.
So like, for example, like when we were talking about, when we click some of those book now buttons and we get to look Vagaro or MindBody, and then it's a disorganized mess in there. Yes. And I can't find the service that you were telling me about before. Yep. That's frustrating. That is a perfect example of clunky.
It's very clunky. Yeah. And, it's, and again, you're missing out on opportunities to get your clients to book or make purchases, right? So, alrighty, that's why we're talking about this right now. And now we're going to head into our 5 tips for making your spa website into a 5-star guest experience.
That's right. We know that all of you, for top of mind for you is like a 5-star guest experience in your facility, and rightly so. But we'd like you to expand that awareness to the moment a consumer lands on your website. And so we've got 5 tips here that we want you to make note of. Write them down if you realize your website's needing not just an update but an actual upgrade. So the first thing is website theme. Most consumers are making judgments on your website. Like 75% of consumers make a judgment about your business based on what they see, just the visual cues.
Like your brand credibility is based on
it gives you this, it's kind of street cred. So if you've done your own branding and you don't have a design eye, that's a little risky. But what we recommend is looking for whatever platform you're on. There's lots of companies that have themes, different themes that you can purchase, and they're like a plug and play. But it essentially is the design for all the pages is done for you, and it gives you that credibility right out of the gate. All right. Platforms like Shopify, Squarespace, WordPress, a Wix, they all have many themes to choose from for sure. And I believe like you can buy them off their shop, but like I know we've purchased like Squarespace themes from just private companies, right?
What you'll have, just to kind of clarify a little bit, what you'll have is like whatever platform you're on, whether it be Shopify or Shopify, they have themes that you can choose from, and that's just part of the actual platform. So you can choose those themes so that you can kind of drop and drag your own stuff in there, your copy, your images, and they'll have the layouts for you. If you don't like those layouts, they have actual companies out there that make templates. So you can purchase a template and then it just gets plugged into your actual website. It'll populate, and then, you know, so if you see a design that you prefer from maybe an outside party, because sometimes, you know, like these platforms will have kind of like 4 or 5 different themes that you can choose from, and maybe you might feel that is a little bit limited, and you have a better, like you have a different visual of what you're looking for. And so those themes help you so that you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to know how to code your own website. It makes it a little bit more user friendly, but there's definitely other templates out there that I think they're just maybe a little bit more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but not robust, but they
seem to have more design
they
style.
have more design style. That's it. That's it.
And it seems like they come with more style elements. It's not so much like blocky kind of thing. Very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1, make your life easy and find a theme to keep all your branding more cohesive. Number 2 is to use a user-friendly design. So this kind of dovetails with website themes because most of them have been designed with the strategy in mind. So there is a seamlessness to their design. It is meant to be user-friendly, intuitive for the consumer to get on and kind of intuitively know where to scroll and where to click. And it's really, really important, you guys, to keep it clutter-free. I hate clutter. I hate clutter in my house. Ask my husband. I'm always like, can we find a home for this? I hate clutter on a website. I hate clutter in my office. Like it's distracting. Clutter is distracting. So sometimes if you're working on your own website, you think more is better. Stick to the simplicity of it. Thank you.
Alrighty. What else have we got? So we all know, we've heard this before, that content is king, and that absolutely is true. So we're talking about high quality content here. And what we're looking for is like a 5-star website should offer value. So value meaning how is your client seeking that, like seeing that value that you're offering? Is it resonating with them?
Yeah, it's more like, how do they know for sure you know your stuff?
Yeah.
How do they know for sure, or how will they know for sure that you can deliver what you say you're going to deliver? That has to be, that's the value in the website. You have to figure out how to communicate that value, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that, it needs to be well written. It should be relevant content. So we want to talk about meeting the interests and the needs of your target audience. So your ideal client. And
so Delia, can you expand on that a bit? Like, what does that mean? Like, what would that look like? Relevant content that meets the needs and interests of your client.
So that would be more if, you know, good for if you're niched, right? So if you've got maybe an acne clinic, let's say, and, you know, you're communicating some of those concerns and issues that your clients are having, that's meeting their needs, right? So you're giving them the information that in their mind, they're reading this and they think, oh, this spa is going to be able to solve my problems. Because you're communicating clearly in your expertise, you know, kind of eliminating all of the chatter and noise that consumers see because they're looking for solutions everywhere. So you're making it super easy for them to know right away that when they land on your page, that you have what they need in terms of offering them solutions, right? So it has to pique their interest in terms of what their desires are.
And so we're talking of content, we're talking about copywriting.
Yep.
We're talking about images that convey, you know, a feeling or an outcome, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Informative blogs, can, you know, educate your clients that way. That is a great way for increasing trust and showcasing your expertise. And
SEO.
and SEO, yep, very important, SEO. And also it's really helpful to have like your service and product descriptions also need to speak to your ideal clients. So, and what they want and what they need is in terms of outcomes are. So make sure that you're helping your clients understand what it is that you can do for them. It's really what high quality content is all about. So.
And the high quality content when it comes to service descriptions and retail product descriptions.
Yeah.
It seems like what I read most of the time is the what of the service and the product, meaning it's a facial, there is a cleanse, a double cleanse, there's steam, there's extractions, like they're naming out all of the things that the client gets in the treatment. But I very rarely see copywriting that shares the outcome, and not like your skin will feel rejuvenated.
Right. We're talking about like real
outcomes.
You know,
it's
we're talking
brighter.
acne clearing, acne's like, you know, where maybe you have a product line that is dedicated, just like it is, the ingredients are 100% acne safe. Like those are the things that
the words you want to use,
words that you're wanting to use. And, you know, even just the website again that didn't have the homepage, looking at her service descriptions, it was all like, you know, you get a cleanse, you get a mask, you get a this, you get a that, but it didn't actually speak to, you know, who is it for? Is it like an anti-aging treatment? Is it more for acne? Is it, you know, so it didn't clarify what the outcome was. It just said what was going to happen in the treatment. And I think clients these days kind of understand that. They know that they're going to get cleansed, they're going to get some serums, they're going to get, you know, likely some extractions and maybe a massage and some moisturizer afterwards. So that piece isn't really as important as letting the clients know kind of what the results are going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then the next piece we have for 5-star website experience is your e-commerce. So effective e-commerce platforms like Shopify, which is a really big one in the spa industry, what they do is they have really good solutions for marketing your beauty products and services online. They have a great platform for that. And when you have an e-commerce, it is just a second kind of it's a secondary way of expanding your revenue and staying ahead of your competitors. By selling your products online, an extra revenue stream. So you want to make sure that, because we've seen this as well too, and I've tried to make lemons out of lemonade, no, lemonade out of lemons with some of the images that I get from our dear clients. We love you. Oftentimes I'll get
you guys are very good at skin, not so great at pictures. That's okay. We totally understand and still love you.
I know. So sometimes I'll get a product picture, you know, a new product that's come in, but they've taken it from their phone, and that's fine too. I mean, because a lot of phones these days can take beautiful pictures, but
maybe the lighting isn't right.
The lighting's not right, the background, maybe there's clutter in it. They're just not professional looking pictures of products. So it kind of deflates again that credibility, right?
It actually cheapens.
Yeah, it cheapens it. Thank you. So pro pics of products, like that's really, really important. That's
a really strong investment, because, you know, if you guys are all wondering, like, why isn't my e-commerce selling products? Like, I don't get it. If you have grainy images in your e-commerce, y'all are competing with like Eminence and Dermalogica and like the Sephora's, and they don't have grainy images. So, you know, it might be that, you know, this is a project for you to upgrade maybe just the e-commerce part of it, right? So that it looks more professional and not just like, you know, somebody's bottling up stuff in their basement trying to sell it, right?
Right, exactly. And you very well might be, and that's okay, because
yeah, but it's about showing, it's about putting our best face forward, right? And putting our brand out there in a really professional manner.
And, you know, you've chosen these products for all the right, you know, all the reasons that you have. And so you want to make sure that, again, you're making sure that those products are up to the same level as what they can deliver and what you're communicating, right? So part of that, so your pro pics of products, you also want to make sure, and we've talked about this already, but your product descriptions are clear, and we're talking about the features and benefits of them. So they need to know what the product does and what results it can give, so how it works and what it does.
Oh, and
you
then,
can,
and then just using those, like the, like Shopify has those review
oh,
plugins
right, yes, yes. So the review plugin, so you can get, so again, you can
real
either,
time. Yeah.
yeah, have your reviews come in through Google if you want to do it that way. But I'd say specifically for your e-com for your products, a lot of the platforms, and Shopify does have it, where, it's just it's a little tick, and you can have a plugin for product reviews, so people can review right on your website, and then that also gives more credibility. People are coming and they're shopping around, and they want to read what other people have to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep, for
So,
sure. That's a really important piece about reading those reviews, especially for products, right? For skincare products.
yeah.
I know for me when I'm shopping in other industries, like even
Mhm.
on Amazon, the first thing I go to as I look at the reviews, like how many 5-star, like I go to the like 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star to see what people are complaining about.
Mhm.
So I get, we as consumers get really great information from looking at those reviews. So
Yeah.
get on, if you've got a Shopify shop or WordPress or whatever, get that review plugin in there. It's so important to give you more cloud credibility to keep building your e-commerce revenues.
And some will have it already as a feature depending on what platform you use, and some will need to be a plugin. So you just want to double check whether you've already got it or whether you need it. Yeah.
Right. The last one we want to talk about for creating a 5-star website is having an online appointment booking. Now, this isn't like super new at all, but we do see some spas not using it. I think for the most part, I do find that it's solos that seem to not have their online booking activated. And partially, I think it's because they want to control their schedules because they get quite busy. But I, still come across some spas that don't have online booking, even hair salons. And I'm like, oh my God, can we get with the program? Because I always remember to book my appointments
Yeah.
at the worst time of the day.
Exactly. And you might not be open. I don't want to have
Ah,
a call. And people like the convenience of just being able to go on, not have to deal with anybody, and just, do what they need to do in order
yeah,
to book their appointment.
yeah, for
Um,
sure. And then the other piece too about online booking is just making sure that you have like when me as the consumer clicks the book now button,
mhm.
when I'm going to your Vagaro or whatever platform I'm on, go check to see what consumers are looking at, because more often than not, I am seeing crazy, mixed up, chaotic services, all like they're not in order at all. Um, so I definitely recommend making that a task to go in and check, like, ooh, what does Vagaro look like on that booking page? What can we
Well,
clean up?
one of the things that what we notice is you'll have, your services page on your website, and so it's nicely designed, but then your booking links are to your appointment schedule or
Mm.
Vagaro or whatever you use. And so a lot of times we see service descriptions, product descriptions on the actual website, and then when we go to the booking system, the prices are different, the service descriptions,
Or they're not even there.
not quite matching, or they're missing.
Yeah.
They're missing.
Yeah. So like, this is a good one, like every 6 months or a year, like put it on your to-do list of like, just make sure what's on the website is matching up what's on your booking platform.
And make sure that the names are the same. So I'll see, like, a
Right.
classic facial, and maybe it's called the customized facial on your
Yeah.
booking. Like, they have to be the
Yeah.
same, because you want to make sure that say in one spot is the same on the other, and then your
And
clients
it
are,
has to do with consumers, like the recognition piece. So
yeah.
they recognize the service name on your website, they now click on it, and then they're like, what? I can't find whatever. Right. Now I
So
do know like some of them, I know like with Square Booking, you're really limited. Like they put the services in order of alphabetical order, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, except I was able to help one of our clients put them in categories
Oh,
on
okay.
app. Yeah,
Okay,
on
yeah, that would be better to even
Mhm.
like, because a lot of times with spas, like especially full service spas, we're recommending you put the skin at the top.
Mhm.
Whereas if some of those platforms are doing them alphabetically, S is way down at the bottom.
Yeah. But I think it was they still had them alphabetically, but then there was another section that you
Okay,
could go in, I believe, to see them in a category.
okay, well, that's good to know.
All right. Well, that is our comprehensive guide to creating a 5-star spa website. And so if your spa website is struggling to see new visitors and new bookings, and you know that that's affecting your business, then it's time to prioritize these essential website features. And it's important to do this because we want to watch your spa and salon business thrive in the digital world. It is so important. If you are struggling with knowing where to start or even where to look, you can use our guide here. But if you need some extra support, I do have a website audit offer. It's $97, and I will go through your website and give you a document that is detailed in terms of what I would suggest for recommendations for improving. And I'll also give you a recorded recording of it too, so that you have it to look back on, and I'll explain it a little bit more for you in that. So that's a website audit for $97. You can reach out, send us a DM, or visit our website. I think
we've got the contact page.
Okay. Yep.
That way, or they can email you at Delia, DELIA, at kirstenfoss.com. So one of these things about these website audits, like for $97, guys, if you are doing your own website, this is a no-brainer, because we all have our own blind spots especially for our website. And if you haven't been able to see it at all now, even with this, you still might not be able to see those little pieces that need attention, because it's really seriously affecting the amount of people coming into your business. I highly recommend taking Delia up on this. You don't have to all you have to do is just take her list. You can do the work yourself. If you want to outsource it to her, that's totally fine and up to you. But really, this is like it's meant to help you kickstart and get going with some action and momentum on making your website work for you.
Yeah, and like really pinpointing kind of where
the problem is
are likely happening. So I can definitely take a look at it, and it's quite easy to see when you're not head down in it. Yes, right?
It's always the way, right?
Yeah,
which is
same with our stuff.
Yeah, and that's why you and I book time together for each part of our businesses, because I have blind spots, you have your blind spots, and we help each other out that way. Absolutely. So if you know your website needs some loving, reach out to Delia for that website audit.
Awesome.
All right, I think that's it for us for Spa Business Mastery. Yeah, awesome. I will be back here in a couple of weeks with a business and leadership topic. Stay tuned. Otherwise, get cracking on your website.
Get cracking on your website, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and share with your fellow spa and salon owners. If you know anybody that you're SD besties with and they also need some help, you feel free to pass it along to them as well too.
We've got a huge library of blog posts and podcasts. Hey, is this our 100th episode?
This is our 100th episode. Woo!
Birthday, awesome. Delia.
100 episodes of podcasting with
we did it. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you in a couple weeks.